Tomorrow's session, that means I need a town, not a dungeon, not a castle, not an ancient ruin filled with skeletons, just a nice little town, somewhere people actually live. Honestly, I think towns are my favorite thing to design. Anyone can make a monster. Anyone can make a trap. But making a place feel lived in, that's the fun parts. Okay, let's start with the basics. Town name. Which is always the hardest part. Creating an ancient dragon's name? Easy. Naming a farming village? Impossible. Let's see. Something cozy. Something welcoming. Somewhere adventurers might actually want to stay for a while. There. Good enough. The players are probably going to name it something else anyway. Now, the map. I don't need anything complicated, just a few roads, a little river, some buildings, maybe a market square. I'll put the main road here and the town center right about there. Perfect. I always imagine these places from above first, like a bird flying overhead, looking down at all the rooftops, watching people go about their day. Let's add a bakery. Every good fantasy town needs a bakery. I don't know why. It's just the rules. Maybe it smells like fresh bread whenever the players walk past. The kind of smell that immediately makes you hungry. Bakery goes there. Near the town square. Good. Now let's see. Blacksmith. Inn. General store. Stable. The essentials. Actually, the inn should probably be bigger. Players spend so much time in inns. Half my campaign notes are just conversations that happen in taverns. I once spent 6 hours designing a dungeon, and the party spent the entire session talking to the innkeeper. Let's make this one memorable. Nothing dramatic. Nothing secretly important. Just nice. The sort of place where travelers can rest after a long journey. Warm fire, comfortable chairs, maybe a sleepy orange cat curled up near the hearth. Okay, maybe I'm designing a place I want to visit. It's probably fine. Now, who actually lives here? That's the important part. Buildings are easy. Ooh. Buildings are easy. Making a town feel real is done with people. Let's start with the baker. Kind. Definitely kind. The sort of person who remembers everyone's favorite order. Maybe she always sends adventurers off with an extra loaf of bread. Just because. I like her already. Next, the blacksmith. Let's avoid the usual giant grumpy man with huge muscles. I use that archetype way too often. What if she's older? Someone who's been making horseshoes and tools for decades. Everyone in town knows her. Everyone respects her. And if she tells somebody to stop being foolish, they listen. There. Perfect. You know, this might be my favorite part of being a dungeon master. Not the combat, not the boss fights, not even the big story moments. Just sitting here, creating places that never existed before. A road, a shop, a person. And somehow, after enough little details, it starts to feel real. Alright, what else does every town need? A little park, maybe? Some gardens, a fountain, something for the players to accidentally climb on. Because they always do. Every single time. Give adventurers a perfectly normal fountain, and suddenly it's an obstacle course. Let's put one right in the center of town. Nice and simple. Nothing magical, nothing cursed. Just a fountain. Hopefully. Okay, this is starting to come together. Okay, let's see. We've got a bakery, the inn, the blacksmith, the market square, a fountain. What are we missing? Every town needs at least one slightly strange building. Nothing dangerous, not mysterious, just a little odd. Something players immediately notice and ask about. Maybe a tiny bookshop. The kind that's somehow bigger on the inside than it looks from the street. Not magically bigger, just very, very crowded. Books stacked on shelves, books stacked on tables, books stacked on other books. The owner probably knows exactly where everything is. Somehow. Speaking of owners, I should give the bookshop someone interesting. Let's see. Maybe an elderly elf. Very patient, very knowledgeable. The kind of person who answers questions with stories. And they absolutely wear tiny reading glasses, even though elves don't really need them. Those are staying. What does the town actually feel like? That's usually more important than what it looks like. I think peaceful, not perfect, just peaceful. The sort of place where people know their neighbors, where children run through the streets during the day, where shopkeepers wave at each other across the square. Maybe there are flower boxes beneath the windows, little gardens behind the houses, birds nesting on rooftops. That sounds nice. I wonder what the players will actually notice. That's always the funny part. I'll spend 20 minutes describing a beautiful town square, and then someone will ask, how many chickens are there? Or can I buy a goat? Or my personal favorite, what crimes are legal here? Players ask the most concerning questions sometimes. Let's add a notice board. That's useful. A few odd jobs, a few local requests. Nothing urgent, just little things happening around town. Missing cat, fence repair, someone looking for help harvesting apples. The usual. Actually, the missing cat should probably be found before the session starts. Otherwise, the players will spend 4 hours looking for it. And honestly, they'd probably enjoy that more than the main plot. Okay, one last thing. A secret. Not a huge secret. Nothing world changing. Just something small. Every town deserves a little mystery. Maybe there's an old stone well outside town. Nobody uses it anymore. Nobody remembers exactly when it was built. People tell stories about it. Most of them are probably made up. That's nice. Enough mystery to spark curiosity. Not enough to overshadow everything else. There. I think that's everything. Let's take a look. A cozy little town, friendly people, warm shops, fresh bread, flower gardens, a place travelers might actually want to stay. I like it. The funny thing is, the players might only spend one session here, maybe less. They could arrive, buy supplies, talk to maybe 3 NPCs, and leave. But that's okay, because for a little while, this place existed. A town that didn't exist this morning, with people and stories and tiny details. All because I sat down with a notebook and started drawing. And honestly, that's one of my favorite parts of this hobby. Not knowing exactly what will happen, just creating a place and waiting to see who visits it. Alright, tomorrow's session is ready, at least until the players inevitably decide to adopt a goat and derail everything.